Gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce the president of the Wharton Club of New York. Here's Regina Jaslow.
Thank you. During difficult times as these, our alumni community is here to provide support and hope. When it is difficult to see hope during such dark times, Psychology Today recommends that we look for role models. And boy, do we have great role models participating in this year's Joseph Wharton Awards event. I asked some of our past Joseph Wharton Award recipients these 3 questions. The first, how have you managed to find hope when there seemed to be none in whatever you were pursuing? 2, how has your community helped you gain perspective to see hope? 3, how have you empowered yourself so that hope was more within your grasp than simply wishful thinking? Michelle Peluso finds hope in creativity, grit, and perseverance. She said that family has been such a gift these past few months. Watching her children's resilience through it all is a constant reminder for her to find the same. She also empowered herself through her team. When we are together with humility and a clear sense of purpose, we are each other's source of strength and progress. For Jonathan Gray, he speaks regularly with his 102-year-old father-in-law who grew up in an orphanage during the Great Depression and served in World War II and Korea. His constant refrain to John is, "Our country has been through a lot. We will get through this too." For John, the time spent as a nuclear family in the past few months has been extraordinary. It's a great reminder for what's important in life and also provided a wonderful balance on those most stressful days of March and April of this year. For empowering himself, John's response was that he always focuses on how he can make a difference. He says coming up with a thoughtful plan of action in every crisis is critical. Hoping and waiting rarely turn out well. Overall, he remains optimistic that we will emerge stronger from this challenging year, better prepared for future health crises, and moving more purposefully towards eliminating racial injustice. For Howard Marks, he remarks that there have been many times in my life when it seemed the world was a mess, not like the good old days. But then I remember, rarely were those days as trouble-free as the halcyon past we remember. There's often something going on that's distressing, whether it's a military conflict, recession, or natural disaster. We've always muddled through in the past and probably will continue to do so. The best aspects of mankind tend to bring about solutions. Howard continues, I do what I can about it and accept that that's limited. Luckily for Howard, he is not a worrier. In fact, he is a self-described congenital optimist who follows Mark Twain's quote that worrying is like paying a debt you don't owe. Other ways to find hope is to perform acts of kindness. Doing acts of kindness can have a dramatic effect on one's mood and outlook. Kindness triggers the release of serotonin, which has an antidepressant effect, which also serves to calm stress and reduce pain. By doing small acts of kindness repeatedly, we can feel more connected and have a greater sense of contribution. Perform an act of kindness by checking in on your classmates, seeing if they need support or an introduction to someone helpful. More than ever, now's the time to take the call and make the call. The Wharton Club of New York is a nonprofit volunteer-run organization. During the pivot to having online-only events since March of 2020, our volunteers have worked tirelessly to make that possible. On behalf of our alumni community, we thank our amazing volunteers for their multiple acts of kindness by providing meaningful programs that prepare us for the future. The board of directors of the Wharton Club of New York chose to offer events free of charge for more than 6 months. We thank them for their strength and leadership. In addition, the club has earmarked $200,000 to help Wharton alumni affected by the pandemic. We have also formed a task force to address social injustice in the business world. we encourage you to get involved in our community that exists to serve and care for you. Together, we can make lemonade out of lemons and come out of this stronger than ever as a community. Back to you.
Regina, thank you so much. And thank you for hosting tonight's awards.